Fund. You know, just like I said earlier, the intervention fund was launched earlier. I think sometime last year, July 2016,
Yes.
but $100 million. Now it was increased. But at that point, we still had bottlenecks. What were the bottlenecks we had at that point? And I'm really, I don't want to say afraid, but I've said afraid. I'm really a bit disturbed that what happened at that time will not still happen. The legislation, the modalities we have right now, or the framework rather, is it a workable framework right now?
Well, we've not seen the framework, to be honest. We've not seen the framework. So, all credit to the new secretary, yes, at the NCDM.
At the end, that's Simbi Wabote. Yeah.
He is a known quantity in the local content sphere of the industry. He used to be in Shell and run their local content. So, if anybody knows one or two things, and it's also, of course, it's a son of the soil. Being from Bayelsa State, he understands that there's a real need for us to bring local content down to the level of the common man. So where can we actually affect and impact local content? He understands it, and I see it in this first step he has taken in increasing the fund. Because if $700–800 million is available in the total pot of money, we questioned last year why you only put $100 million in an intervention fund.
What's happening to the rest of the money?
Exactly.
I hope it's yielding interest.
We hope so. Interest reviews.
Yes, yes, I hope so. Someone should be asking that question.
Exactly. We should be looking at the management of the larger pot of money. And then also, the key question then also was, given the size of capital expenditure in the industry. So last year and this year, we expect anything from $3 to $7 billion of expenditure in the industry. And if we are targeting 50% of local content, that means you're looking at about Nigerian companies getting contracts of between $1.5 billion and $4 billion in the industry. So how much really will $100 million affect or help a Nigerian company given that size of investment?
But $200 million, will it go anywhere?
It's a good start. Again,
Bear
we have
in mind that the industry is also capital intensive.
It's a good start. The key thing is we need to know
how many companies?
How to even access the money. So today, we understand that the Bank of Industry is the manager of the fund. But we all know way too well. I mean, up until recently, that is not something that I don't know a lot of businessmen that have a Bank of Industry access or account or something like that. At least in the oil and gas industry, it's not our favorite place to go. So the question is, how are you actually ensuring that the Bank of Industry is working with the main banks that typically the industry banks with, so that people can access that fund? And can we make the criteria for qualification transparent? Because again, the industry has various value chain. Today, you can be most of the activities in the industry, the $7 billion I told you about, is just the upstream. The downstream is people think it's exempt, but it's not really exempt, and we can get to that later. For example, Mr. Dangote is spending $12 billion in the industry. The question should be asked, how much of that is local content? He's not exempt from the local content laws. If he's exempt, who granted him the waivers? The other day I read an interview where he said he brought in 30,000 people to work on his refinery. That is crazy.
Yeah, from where?
From where?
Yeah, they're foreigners.
They are foreigners.
They are foreigners.
In a country where we only create 25,000 jobs a year, the biggest investment in Nigeria.
So what actually is the criteria for Dangote even bringing in that?
We don't know.
Or perhaps because he's close to those in the corridors of power.
Yeah,
so
probably.
A lot of things should be waived.
Of course. NCCF asked the question. We are an organ of the NCDMB, and I think that question has been taken up. And I saw an article last week where the Dangote refinery is finally saying they will take a look at Nigerian vendors.
Yes.
4 years into the project. 4 years into the project. That doesn't make any sense to me, because again, it's costing him $12 billion, but it's probably costing the Nigerian people another $12 billion when you take a look at the waivers we've granted in terms of duties. So if we've granted you duties, tax waivers, and all of these things, then it's only right that the people employed by that project should be Nigerians.
I just want to play devil's advocate. I want to be in Dangote's mind now, and he would just say, "Where's the expertise?" It takes me a lot.
Yeah, once he was pushed, he quickly found the expertise. It's not again. Nigerians. I have to say this. We Nigerians have come a long way, and we've been producing oil since '58, and we have one of the soundest minds in the industry, not just in Nigeria, across the world. I work in the United States, I used to be the early project manager for Keystone Pipeline, the longest pipeline in the world,
yeah.
when I worked for another company.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
So
you have Nigerians that
we are all over the world. If
yeah.
you go to Houston, if you go to any of the major oil and gas, Aberdeen, and you see Nigerians everywhere. So you can't tell me there is no expertise. The question is, where are you looking?
Okay, that should be the question.
Yeah. So I don't see that. And also for Nigerian companies especially, we now have companies in Nigeria that build jackets for Egina, which is the largest FPSO investment we had in Nigeria. Niger Dock is doing quite a bit. Companies like Amazon Energy, companies like what's the name, Crestech. All these companies are doing things that are setting the pace in the industry. We have Nigerian companies doing drilling and exploration. So there's no, I definitely don't see, and someone say, oh, by the way, we've not built refineries since 1980, so maybe they can't find the expertise in Nigeria. That's not true.
Just like the turnaround maintenance that was said to be done during Jonathan's administration, that they had to go get the original people that built the refinery. And I'm like, what? What were I even thinking?
The honest truth is this: we are just